We are live.
We are live.
Last time we went 20 full minutes before I knew that I was being. I mean, I was like lucky I was wearing pants.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all went. Well, not all of us. We all kind of. You didn't go.
I didn't.
But we went to a Kevin Max show.
We've all been to concerts in the last 2 weeks, but not all together at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
Josiah. That's Gabe, Nate,
I'm Nathaniel.
Brendan.
Yeah, I've been to some pretty crappy concerts. You guys got to go to good ones. I've been to some pretty crappy ones. Outside of the Kevin show, I've been to some pretty bad ones. I can't even talk about it. I have post-traumatic stress disorder from several of them.
Well, if I remember correctly, one of those concerts was your own.
Yes, it was, and the bands who played after us. All I can say is the lead singer of one of the bands was in his boxers by the end of the show.
Oh.
And it just was, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it.
That's perfect.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not really allowed to talk too much about the Kevin Max show, but I mean, I think it's fair to say it was fun. Right?
Yes.
You played a lot of oldies. What was your?
Nothing new. Nothing new. That was kind of a bummer. But as he said, he wasn't really ready to put all that out there.
What was your favorite cut off of that?
Off of the new album or off of the tour, the show?
But
I mean, just off the well, first off the tour.
Off the show, oh gosh. Oh well, I mean, when he did In the Light, that was really awesome. The way he just kept going with that. Yeah, I mean, and then what was the other one? Did he Hardway? Was it Hardway? No.
He did
No. What was it? What If I Stumble? The same song. Yeah, when he did What If I Stumble, that the way he just kept going with that, it was really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the songs I haven't heard live in a while. What If I Stumble? So that was really cool to hear. What about you?
What If I Stumble was my favorite. Haven't heard that one in a long time.
probably since the helicopter
Yeah,
incident.
the helicopter.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know this story, okay, this is my brother Nathaniel. He's the youngest of us.
Born in September of 1992.
And he swears that he was at the world-famous DC Talk helicopter landing and creation of June of 1992, right before the Free Last album. He swears he was there.
He remembers every single detail about it, but he was not, because, I mean, maybe...
I was in the womb.
In the
I was
womb?
technically there.
I guess, but he was not there.
Anyway, Brendan, you weren't at our last show. What has been your favorite cut off the K-Max album?
Off the K-Max album, oh geez. That Was Then and This Is Now is probably my favorite song. The guitar work and everything on that is just absolutely beautiful. It's got a lot of 1980s, late 1970s guitar work, such as bands like Kraftwerk and Roxy. But if not that track, then Just As I Am. Oh, but Good King's Highway. I'm not so torn on that album.
I really
so many
like
tracks on it are amazing.
Lighten Up might be my pick. It's between that and This Is Now.
That Was Then and This Is Now.
I'm sorry, but I'm really bad at song titles. I just put the album on and listen to it.
So we also, me and Josiah went to go see Lecrae and Andy Mineo.
That was sick. That show is incredible. Andy Mineo is maybe the best hip-hop artist I've ever seen perform live. And
it was cool to see Andrew McCutcheon and
Josh Harrison,
some Pittsburgh Pirates show
Sean
up.
Rod.
Dude, tell me, how nuts did that place go when they walked in?
It was pretty crazy.
There was a lot of "Let's go Bucks," "Let's MVP."
Yeah, let's just real quick get this out of the way for those of you who might be
We're all
this
Pirates
is
fans.
this is who you should be rooting for.
Brendan is wearing his Pirates hat, for those that can't see. We're all big Pirates fans, for those of you that don't know.
Gabe's a Closet Braves fan, but
that's a long story. I'm getting over that.
yeah.
All right, so since we've last talked, what has been some things that you guys have listened to that you've liked?
I wanted to talk about the Lecrae concert.
Okay,
that
go
was
ahead.
one of the most emotional concerts that I've ever been to, because the whole thing was just his testimony, and like he would talk in between each song. They had video clips and like just his testimony in his life, and the lyrics to all of his songs tied right into his testimony, and he's been through a lot. And I was sitting there like, this is a rap concert, but like this is incredible. Like there's a message.
For those of you that have been to the Anomaly tour, you guys know this, but he talks a lot about his life story, about how he grew up, how he made some decisions. He had his girlfriend have an abortion.
Didn't really know his dad.
And yeah, I mean he's really transparent. It was cool to see that, and you know it connects, I think, with a lot of people.
All the way to #1 on iTunes. Like,
okay, so question.
Answer.
What is it about Christian rap that they can do that and be that transparent on stage, but I feel as though other bands would not have the leeway, or that it would be accepted as readily? Let's say, I don't know.
Well, it's not even talking about it on stage. It's talking about it in songs. I mean, I don't even think that happens in CCM anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that transparency is there anymore. And I just think that that's because people are afraid. I don't know. Maybe that just doesn't sell.
I mean,
but okay, let's talk about the disconnect then, because how do you have something like Lecrae, who goes to #1 on Billboard, right?
Right.
And yet other artists in the Christian music industry aren't thinking that maybe that's a direction they should go? Maybe that's something people actually want to hear?
I think that'll be starting to be a thing. Spare Records just signed NF. I mean, that was their first hip-hop sign. I don't know if that's just going to be something that's going to be a trend. Hopefully it doesn't, like, water it down, but, I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, I don't see why they don't do that more often. I mean, that's what we grew up with.
Yeah, like we were just talking about What If I Stumble. Like, that's a song that deals with personal problems. Like, what if I'm not perfect?
Everybody's gone away from being real to everything's
I love you.
And everything.
You love me.
And there was a great blog about that one time.
Yeah, there was.
EthanChristianTalk.com.
Yeah. We need to have a card. We need to have a card where we flash the website every once in a while.
Well, you know. Anyway, I mean, yeah. I mean, that just seems to be something we could talk about every show. I mean, unfortunately, it's just it's a business.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to several in the last year, not as many as I used to, but I've been to several CCM shows, and honestly, the bands get up there, they play their music, they do the standard, hey, Jesus loves you, I know you're struggling right now, he's there for you in your struggles, have a good day.
Buy our t-shirts.
Yeah, buy our t-shirts, we'll see you out at the booth afterwards. And, you know, for Lecrae, I mean, this guy is on the national scene, he's been in interviews on, you know, every major news network, and he keeps it 100% real. And I think that I don't understand why other artists are not doing that.
I think the 116 movement is changing Christian music, like, for the better. It's moving it towards that eventually.
Like, I've told Brendan, I've told you this before, like, seeing Lecrae in concert reminds me of DC Talk back in the day, the way that they were transparent with things, and it just reminds me of this. And I think that he's doing that with hip hop right now, the way that DC Talk did that with rock and roll in the '90s.
Yeah.
Hip hop's been pretty bad in Christian music. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you had was, who? Grits.
I mean, they're okay.
Not that they were bad or anything, but I mean, like, that was.
But I mean, it's
and I
been
feel
within
like that
our.
was in the '90s, and
that's been within our generation that this has happened.
Yeah. Oh man, there were some really good hip hop albums, like, especially on that BEC label, the Tooth and Nail subsidiary, like Illharmonics.
Ambassador, Tonic.
Yeah, there was some potential there, but it was just never actually fully realized.
Like AJ52's been the torchbearer for like the last 10 years, almost by himself.
Yep.
Christian hip hop, which is tough to do.
Anyway, speaking of music, like I said before, what has been some things that you guys have listened to since our last show?
Well, you know where I'm gonna go. 21 Pilots, 2 new singles. 2 new singles, CD releases next month. For those of you not familiar with 21 Pilots, they're a Columbus-based group that has just blown up in the last 3 years. Really went from nobody to one of the biggest things in music right now. They're label mates with Paramore, just bypassed the whole Christian music industry, but definitely Christians.
They're on MTV Movie Awards. They're not just like in Christian music. They're like out there playing on secular media.
So the 2 singles they've released so far, I have mixed feelings on. The first one is it's a totally different thing than they've ever done before. It's called Fairly Local. It's got an odd feel to it, but I like it, but it's just different. The second one, way more poppy, and excellent song. Once again, this album is going to be a hodgepodge of musical styles, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. It drops next month.
Huh. I've been listening a lot to Emery, the new Emery stuff. They're releasing it with the Break It Down podcast. They're releasing it song by song. And yeah, shout out to the Break It Down podcast with Matt Carter. He's going through each song and explaining like different things about the song, like why they did this certain thing musically and all this different stuff. But they're releasing their album week by week on that podcast, and it's like really interesting.
And if you've ever visited DecentChristianTalk.com, you'll be able to check out an interview we did with Matt Carter.
Yeah, DecentChristianTalk.com.
Speaking of that, we did an interview with KB, and his record came out this past week. We're recording this on the 23rd, and I don't know, he really stretched his boundaries as far as an artist. I know a lot of people weren't really sure about it, but I enjoyed it. That's what I've been listening to this week. What about you?
I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet. What's he got going on stylistically?
You would really like the I Believe song. If you are familiar with the World Cup the last time that happened, the I Believe that We Will Win chant, he uses that chant and puts a hip-hop song to it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it features a guy from For Today.
Yeah. Matty from For Today. And he also features Bubba Watson.
Yeah, Bubba Watson.
Two-time Masters winner, I think.
The golf guy. Why? Okay, how is Bubba Watson featured? You have to tell me this.
He has his own verse, and he killed it. It was really good.
Does he rap? Is he rapping?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He talks about what's the line about his 9?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a gangster, but my caddy carries a 9. And he like
oh my gosh.
How he has like
that's brilliant.
He has 2 majors, but only 1 master, or like something like that. It's really cool.
Yeah,
nice. That's awesome.
What about you?
I like a good hokey, cheesy golf rapper.
Of course. There's got to be a market for that.
I gave KB's album.
Yeah, that's a very narrow audience.
I listened to KB's album. Haven't listened to it much in the depth. I kind of have mixed feelings. Don't know how I feel about it. The song that Gabe talked about, I Believe. I enjoyed that one. I've been listening to 21 Pilots a lot because of Brendan. He talks about them all the time, and I really hope to see them in concert this year. That's one of my
Bucket list.
Yeah, bucket list concerts.
We're gonna have to go to Columbus.
Hey, speaking of concerts, did you see the Hillsong United tour this summer?
Dude, that is a crazy tour.
Oh my gosh! For those of you that haven't heard, it's Hillsong United, Bethel Music, Jesus Culture, David Crowder, Trip Lee, Passion, all in one day. It's kind of like a Warped Tour
for Christian music.
Which is, I mean, that's a pretty beast line.
So tell me about what they consider the Passion band now, because back when Passion started, it was Tomlin, Crowder, Charlie Hall. So is this just like up and coming guys that they're like hoping to push out of that, or is that?
Well, I think when we saw them, it was mostly Chris and Stanfill. Mm-hmm. I don't know who else will be in it. I mean, Chris Tomlin's not going to be on, so he might be on the festivals. I know he's not doing a whole lot of summer festivals.
Yeah, I doubt he would be part of that bill if it was just labeled Passion.
I mean, I don't know because Crowder's with them, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's listed as Crowder.
Yeah. When I saw it billed as Passion, he was with them.
Cool. Gabe, I know you did. Did either of you guys listen to that Blake Whiteley?
I listened to a little bit of it, yes. It's good.
I have not.
Check this Blake Whiteley out. He's produced by Jake Rye. Jake Rye is the bass player for Sanctus Real. And like a totally new thing for Jake. He learned how to do a lot of rap mixing and so on, and producing that type of music, which was new for him. But it's an amazing, and I got to get more information on Blake. We're going to be doing an interview with him soon. But as to who he used to be with, I know he's got a backstory that's pretty impressive as to artists he's been with in the past on the big scale. So.
Speaking of things that are coming soon, we have tentatively an interview with Plum next week. That'll be cool. He's someone that I've always really liked. Not the typical CCM artist.
No. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have an interview with Abandoned Kansas coming out soon. They've been around for a few years. They have an interesting story. They used to be with Goatee Records. They kind of not really had a falling out, but they just didn't really fit with them. Did Brennan just fall down?
Yeah, Brennan fell over.
I did. Sorry.
I mentioned Goatee Records, and he just flipped out.
Phone slipped out of my hand. Shut up.
Of course, I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I've spent a lot of time on this. We have a story on Michael Guido, who was the DC Talk Road pastor. And since then, we've gotten a lot of artist collaboration. We've gotten Michael Tate. We've got Kevin Max. We have Michael W. Smith. So it'll be really cool. Brendan, you didn't really get to. You weren't on the last show. So I mean, what has been your feelings on Michael Guido since? I mean, you've been around DC Talk for as long as I have, so.
Yeah. Oh gosh, just Michael Guido is somebody I would love to sit down and just talk about anything and everything. You know, he's that guy that you feel, even though you don't know him, you feel like you know him, and that you can just be completely comfortable around him. And I think that says a lot about his relationship with Christ and accessibility to him, that he knows no stranger. He doesn't treat anybody as though, you know, he doesn't treat himself as though he is anybody of any import, even though he's had a major influence and impact on so many people that wouldn't be standing if it weren't for him.
People are coming out of the woodwork. Like, before Gabe did this interview, I knew, like, oh, that's DC Talks Road Pastor. But since then, I have a whole new appreciation. People are, like, coming out, and, like, Michael Guido means a lot to a lot of people. He was the glue behind the scenes to a lot of Christian bands that, like, I didn't even realize.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'll hear from Michael Tate, you'll hear from Kevin Max, you'll hear from Mark from the original Audio A, Ben Sissel, you'll hear from Grits, you'll hear from Juan Otero. You'll hear from DC Talk band members like Mark Townsend, DC Talk road crew like Denny Keatsman, even Forefront Records, Dan Brock, Mark Hammerman. So, I mean, we've got a lot of people that really contributed to this, and it's going to be a really special thing, I think. We also have a couple other interviews. Rapture Ruck is coming up. Living Sacrifice, for those of you that have been Christian metal fans, they've been around since the late 80s.
I just went to that'll be cool. Devil Wears Prada concert.
Oh, how was that?
It was absolute mayhem.
It was amazing.
It was. If you are a heavy metal fan, go out of your way to go watch The Devil Wears Prada, because it is absolute.
They have a good drummer out here.
They are incredible. They have, I don't even, like, mayhem, intense. It is absolutely brutal in the best way possible that you can imagine. But I'm still sore from that concert, and that was well over a week ago.
We left Carnage.
Yeah, it was good. It was
all right,
good.
so we've been talking.
Wait till you're my age and you're just sore from getting out of bed this morning.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So we've been talking a lot about concerts. So let's just go around. What was? I mean, if you can't name what was one of your or a few of your favorite shows? And I'll go first. The Jesus Freak Tour for me was obviously the thing that kind of really hooked me in. I remember when I saw Delirious the first time, they just blew my mind. I would think that was in 1999. And I want to say this, probably the Newsboys Step Up to the Microphone tour was really cool. That's probably my top three.
Gabe really likes to do this to us, where he doesn't.
He's already thought about this, yeah.
He's been thinking
no,
about
I did not think about
for
this.
months now, and he's like, I don't know, we'll just get on there and talk about stuff. I've
already thought of this before. So
I mean, I've never come up with a solid answer, but Switchfoot live.
That's good.
That's good every single time I see them. Skillet live, incredible. Their last show that I saw was good. DC Talk, it's been a while, but man, I used to have so much fun at those concerts. Yeah, just Audio Adrenaline, very good.
I was gonna say that Some Kind of Zombie tour was probably my favorite.
Yeah, you guys, I saw the Supernatural tour, which was just amazing. The Some Kind of Zombie tour, them in Supertones, and it was just absolutely incredible. Now, I will say the Supernatural tour was amazing because of DC Talk, but the openers were Jennifer Knapp and the W's.
Yep.
I could have totally done without that.
Well, I mean, that seemed like a good lineup at the time. Jesus Freak was Audio A, so.
Yeah. And then I've got to go here. I've got to go here, but I'm sorry. I'm hard-pressed to pick a better show than 21 Pilots.
Yeah, me and Brendan went to a 21 Pilots show in the fall last year, and that was pretty good. I mean, I liked it. It was fun.
It's amazing. The crowd was just, wow. Yeah.
It's one of the, I mean, it's been a while since I've been to a show where everybody knows every single word to every song.
You couldn't even hear him. Well, most of the time you could not hear him because the crowd was singing so loud that you didn't even need him, to be honest. So.
All right, Nathaniel.
My favorite show of all time, probably Under Oath. I got to see them a few months before they quit being a band, and it was an hour-and-a-half set, and they couldn't have been any better.
I was there, and they, like, there was one of those concerts where, like, sometimes you leave a concert and you're like, man, I wish they would have played that song.
Yeah.
But no, they played it. You left that concert satisfied.
There was no song that they didn't play. I mean, it was amazing. It was one of those concerts where, like Brendan said, everyone knew every word, and everyone was completely into it for the whole hour-and-a-half. It was awesome. Switchfoot's another one of my favorites. Past 3 or 4 years I've seen them. I can't, like, it's like magical watching them on stage. It's awesome. I can't describe it.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you guys. Oh gosh, it was probably 10 years ago. Jordan Butcher, myself, Tim Trout, all went up to see Anne Boleyn in Charleroi, Pennsylvania. First of all, I couldn't tell you where Charleroi, Pennsylvania is ever again. We got lost. We got lost 5 times getting there.
Narnia, Pennsylvania.
And I'm trying to remember who else was with them. Some postal service. I don't know. Whatever. Yes. Yeah.
My wife's mad because Brendan saw Postal Service.
Yeah, it was whatever. But it was in it was a VFW. There was 250 people there at this show, and it was on the Never Take Friendship Personal CD. And Jordan and I were up front and ended up having to keep the crowd from crushing the lead singer, Stephen Christian, and it had to keep them from. He literally leaned on us the entire show while they played. There was no stage. I mean, literally, they were just on the floor. And so he leaned on Jordan and I the entire time. And then you just look at their success, and it was just like incredible that I got to have that kind of. So that show really stands out to me just because of where they went from there. Yeah.
So
yeah, Postal Service was okay.
Did you get to name your best favorite shows ever?
You said 21 Pilots.
I mean, we didn't even mention the U2 360 tour that we went.
Oh well, I didn't. Okay, see, I didn't know we could go there.
Well, of course.
Oh well, okay. I mean, gosh, yeah. U2, that 360 tour was amazing. I'm gonna be honest and tell you, Garth Brooks. I just saw him in February. It was incredible.
No, we didn't want to go there.
Nope. Hey, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. As far as performances, as far as performers go, that was hands down one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this just in: Brendan Gallagher is no longer with us. Fired.
I'll tell you what. You go to a Garth Brooks show, and if you don't come out a fan, then I would tell you there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
Well, you can go ahead and say that.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's what?
August Burns Red is another great show. That's probably my favorite metal band right now.
The most talented band. They just put out a new song. Every single musician is like, they're the most talented band top to bottom that I've ever seen.
And they do have a new album coming out in June.
June 30th.
What other albums that are coming out that you guys are looking forward to, other than 21 Pilots, Brendan?
Oh, well, okay, shoot.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, I got nothing else. No. Well, okay, gosh, that's rough because May is a freaking awesome month for CDs.
Yeah.
Not just in Christian music. Brandon Flowers, lead singer of Killers, has a CD coming out that I'm excited about because just of Kevin Max's new CD, I feel like could have been almost a Killers, Brandon Flowers CD. So, but Hillsong has a new worship CD. When?
Soon, yeah. Either next month or June.
Oh yeah, the 2 tracks off of that, the new one, Prince of Peace. That is a solid song.
And they're the ones that are having the movie come out sometime this year that I'd be interested in seeing.
Yeah. When is that? Do anyone know?
I think they moved it to the fall, but yeah, I mean,
right.
They were having problems with the distributors.
I'm just wondering how that movie ties into the Avengers.
I'm sure there will be a sequel either way.
Stop it.
Everything has to tie in.
It's all in the same universe.
Yep.
Children 18-3 just released an album on Tuesday. No, Gabe's not the biggest Children 18-3 fan, but I love their new album. It's called Come In. They just released that. We already said August Burns Red. Haste the Days coming out with something new.
Devil Wears Prada has an EP coming out sometime in the fall called, is it Spaceship or Space?
Or Space, something about space. They sang a song called Supernova off of it at their concert, and it lived up to the name Supernova.
It's got an ambient feeling to it.
Hey, Brandon Mumford and Sons?
Yeah, I'm loving the new stuff.
Yeah.
That's really different.
Yes,
love it. That new track that they just released, Wolf, and then
Wolf.
I think they've released 2 or 3 tracks off of it, and all of them are amazing.
Believe, I really like Believe.
Yep. Hey, doesn't Audio Adrenaline, don't they
3.0.
They have a CD, yeah? No?
Yeah.
Who's singing in that now? Is it Kevin or Mark?
The guy from Stellar Cart, actually.
What? From what band? What is it called?
Stellar Cart with a K.
Never heard of them. Who?
They had a couple.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anyway, couple other. I mean, Plum is putting out a new album. Bane in Kansas is putting out a new album. You said Emery.
Emery's currently releasing their new album.
I think they're due to be in May.
I heard Gillespie released an album.
Yeah. Matt Redman's actually coming out. I love Matt Redman. He's coming out with a new album.
When's that Project 86 London 6 Echo coming out with something?
Sometime this summer. But
hey, so which original member is in Audio Adrenaline? Anybody know?
I thought we moved on from that. But
I know you tried. I know you tried.
I hear crickets on that one.
I don't remember that.
I'm gonna give them a shot. I will give them a shot.
Okay.
Only get one shot.
With what?
Is that? There's the crickets that we were talking about.
Big golf, huh?
All right. Well, I think we have run out of time. It's
past Carly's bedtime.
It's past all our bedtime.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us. We should be back eventually.
Yeah. Probably not Brendan. ChristianTalk.com. Don't forget to tip your waiters and waitresses. Thanks.
Our next podcast will be doing a full review of Audio Adrenaline 3.0's new CD.
All right.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Hey guys.
Good night.